Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this hearing today, and I'd like to thank all the witnesses for traveling to be with us here as well. We've heard a lot about the importance of the TANF program to help low-income individuals achieve independence through connecting them with stable employment and strengthening their families. We've heard also, we know that states have a great deal of flexibility when determining how to use the TANF dollars to best meet the needs of program participants. And of course, we've heard a lot about the lack of proper oversight and accountability that's led to significant abuses of the funds. Mr. Underhill, we appreciate you being here, sharing your story, and I think you've highlighted, you've talked about, many of us have talked about the importance of re-entering the workforce, finding meaningful employment to reach self-sufficiency. And I think that is really the ultimate objective of a program like this, to help individuals achieve self-sufficiency. We've talked about a bill that Dr. Wenstrup and I have introduced, and I just have a chart here to highlight, I think, the importance of this bill. Mention the flexibility that states have. Only 8% of TANF. TANF is used for a number of different ways by each state, but only 8% overall of TANF non-assistance funds were spent on work or work education or training activities. That's the arrow you see. So that little blue block just shows the amount of dollars that have gone to directly help individuals get assistance and find work. And so I think it's a problem. It's an opportunity to improve the system. And as I said, along with Dr. Wenstrup, have introduced the Reduce Duplication and Improve Access to Work Act. That's going to grant states flexibility to devote a portion of the funds received to workforce training programs through WIOA, or the Workforce Innovation and Opportunities Act. So I'd like to just talk a little bit, maybe Mr. Adelson, I'll ask you, what kind of impact do you think that legislation would have, reducing, if it is successful in reducing duplication and allowing states to direct more dollars towards getting more individuals into the workforce, what impact would that have on recipients?
Sure, thank you, Representative. Two things come to mind. The first is sends a good signal, a strong, good signal that we're going to refocus and rebalance this spending back towards the key objective of work. The second thing is, WIOA and the groups that participate in that are especially skilled at getting people back to work. That's what they do every day, and so it makes sense to partner with them. I would make sure, certainly, that the rules of the program, follow that funding so that it stays committed to helping the lowest income people, adults, kids in the house, help them get back on their feet and back into jobs. So to have those guardrails with that funding would be excellent, and it would send a great signal that we're getting back to work.
Maybe a follow-up to that. You talk about the guardrails, and I think it's important that states have guardrails to prevent the kind of abuses that we've seen in Mississippi, if we've heard, and other states as well. But on the other hand, you want to balance that, I think, with sometimes sort of one-size-fits-all guardrails, if you would say, or mandates out of D.C. Maybe don't always allow dollars to be used in the best way. So, what would be the balance? How would you suggest we write these regulations so that we can prevent the kind of abuses we've seen, but also ensure that the states have the flexibility to use the dollars in the best way they see in their jurisdiction?
Yeah, it's a great question. You kind of have to go back to the reason TANF was started, right? To get off of the trend of dependency and spending that was ever increasing. And what we've seen in other programs who didn't go that way, the SNAP program, the Medicaid program, they're now spending 5 times, 7 times, 8 times what they did before, and more people are trapped in dependency on those programs. So you don't want to undermine that flexibility entirely. It's all about putting up those guardrails. And I would say one thing is require an annual audit. There's too much discretion left up to state auditors right now to get, to hear from a whistleblower in order to look at the program, and it's sporadic when the program gets checked. It should just be a simple, basic up and down look at all the contracts and all the spending every year. That would be a really basic guardrail. Could keep states flexible, but also protect against kind of the worst misuse.
Thank you. I know I'm out of time, but I think that's great input, great feedback. So thank you very much.